What up, guys? Your boy Quake, and this is something that I didn't think I'd have to report on. It is something that I normally don't cover because it's out of the hip hop world, but this involves two hip hop artists that we are well aware of. And I was shocked to see this on social media. I had to make sure it was real 100% because I'm the type of person that doesn't just report on things without doing proper research. And this is 100% real in terms of it's officially from the government's website. And that is Jay-Z and Pusha T's name are involved in the Epstein files. Before I get into this, I want you guys to be able to look this up yourselves so you know I'm not lying. You go on the website justice.gov/Epstein, and then there is a search bar and you can search up Sean Carter, which is Jay-Z's real name, and it's the first document that pops up. And this is the documents that I'm going to read to you guys that pop up. So just so you guys know that this is 100% real from the government's website, from the Epstein files. There's nothing that's been, altered or, reported fake on social media. This is 100% real. So let's go over both of these documents. The documents are heavily redacted, meaning a lot of things are blurred out to protect really the victims' names and some information that they don't want the public to know. Places, locations, stuff like that, for the most part, is redacted. So let's go over the top of the document. It says Epstein, Jeffrey, child blank trafficking. You guys know what I'm talking about. The date/time this was received was on July 10th, 2019 at 8:20 in the morning. The details is this. On July 10th, 2019 at 8:20 Eastern Time, a bunch of redacted stuff called the FBI National Threat Operations Center, NTOC, to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. Blank provided the following information. In approximately 1994, a bunch of redacted information revealed herself, blank, as a past victim of sex abuse by Epstein. Blank described the abuse occurred during parties, blank. Blank further identified blank as a friend of blank. So we're assuming probably people that are of high power that decided to, or maybe people that are trying to make connections with that, people don't know and don't want, them to know. In approximately 1996, blank resided with blank in blank. An unknown man abducted blank from her home, whence she later awoke in presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter. And then it shows in quotations Jay-Z. While Weinstein had inserted his fingers into, you guys can use your imagination on that, blank believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. So just from this, we're getting that what she alleges is that Jay-Z was there with Harvey Weinstein, that she saw both of them together. I don't know if she said she assumed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. Continuing on, blank estimated she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an opulent indoor setting. Blank suffered from abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. Blank recalled Leon Black and William Barr, current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the accusations of abuse. In approximately 2006, blank recalled being abused by Epstein. And then the page continues, says, on each occasion. Blank believed she was drugged, clouding her memory. Blank attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers. Now, this is where another rapper who right now is signed to Roc Nation. That's the crazy part. Him and his brother, Malice Clips, which is Pusha T, are both signed to Roc Nation, and they just dropped their album through Roc Nation. Blank attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers, when she described as persons who established friendships with the victims. Among her handlers, blank identified the artist Pusha T. Mind you, this was in 2006 when she's talking about this. Then in approximately 2007, blank attended a party, blank, following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in abuse. Blank claimed to have additional information of other persons involved in the enterprise and information related to racketeering conducted in support of the trafficking. Blank further believed she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of the people involved in the abuse. Blank confirmed she was not diagnosed with any mental illness. blank refused to provide her physical address, advising that she maintained no permanent address. Rather, she moved between staying at different hotels. And that's what the documents say. Now, I know everybody's going to have their own, take on this. For me personally, I believe from 1994 to 1996, she might have been a minor around that time. That's what I'm getting. And then when she got to 2006, 2007, she was just a minor that grew into an adult, and they just kept, doing things to that person. Now, this is an accusation at the end of the day. Let's keep that in mind. An accusation isn't solid, proof or evidence. Anybody can be accused of anything. I'm not saying that to defend anybody in this at all, because if you're in Epstein files, it's not a good look at all. But let's keep that in mind, that an accusation is an accusation. Unless they release like solid evidence and proof, this was just stuff reported that was called in saying, hey, I got, abused by this person and this person. Do with that information what you will. I know Jay-Z has been dragged a lot by social media as being involved with a lot of crazy things. Although there hasn't been any solid proof or evidence, he was very close to Diddy. Diddy has done a lot of things, and there's been actually some solid evidence when it comes to Diddy. And obviously he's locked up right now with it. So anybody that was really that close, I mean, he would hang out with Diddy as if they were brothers. And I think Diddy at one point called him a brother. So at that point, when you're associated with somebody like that and you hang out with that person that often, and they had literally parties every single year, it makes sense that people associate that person with what Diddy did, because if you're surrounded with that person all the time, people are just going to assume you're doing the same thing. And the interesting thing is Pusha T, Malice, just recently signed a distribution deal with Roc Nation, which is Jay-Z's record label. They released their album Let God Sort 'Em Out through there, and now they're nominated with a bunch of Grammys, and they're going to perform at the Grammys. That's a crazy time to have this released as they're doing these Grammys performance and stuff. I say all that to say, we have no idea. This is just documents that the government released officially. Like I said, no solid proof. If the government releases photos, maybe videos, I don't know. There's been a lot of accusations thrown out. Some things with solid evidence with like emails that are tied to real email addresses with timing and all this stuff. Some of those look a little bit more official versus this, which is, I believe, somebody calling in and reporting that they've been, from on July 10th, 2019. So this is years. So she reported an event happening in 1994, 1996, 2006, and 2007. So this is 4 separate times where the first one in 1994, it was just Epstein that she's talking about. In 1996, this is where she mentions the most people. She says Harvey Weinstein as well as Jay-Z. And then she mentions Leon Black and William Barr, which is the current United States Attorney General, which is crazy. You got United States' Attorney Generals being named in these things, which is like, yeah, these files are like, if none of this stuff was redacted, like I just don't know. It's insane. And then obviously in 2006, she mentions Epstein as well as the handler, which is Pusha T. That's where he gets involved. And in 2006, Pusha T was a pretty big artist at that time. I mean, Clips was doing their run with Pharrell again. I believe they released Mr. Me Too, which is a huge record, and they were just having their run as well. And then in 2007, she also mentions Weinstein and Pusha T again. But yeah, that's the files. They are real as I can get. I mean, you can look this up unless the DOJ decides to just remove these files, which they have kind of redacted some stuff and taken it out and put it back in. And, so it's all over the place. But if you go to justice.gov/Epstein, you search in Sean Carter, these documents pop up. So it is real as day. Let me know what you guys think. I know some artists are going to have a field day with this. I know Drake had his own issues with Pusha T. I would not be surprised if somehow Drake comments on this. And then, of course, 50 Cent has always attacked Jay-Z in one way or another, so I wouldn't be surprised if he commented on this. I'm not going to be surprised. Like, I just want to see what the hip-hop world, how they react to all this stuff. And I want to see if Pusha T or Jay-Z even address this, or if they just ignore it and hope that people just forget and it goes away. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that's the report. I'm shocked just as much as you guys. and I will keep you guys updated if something new comes out.
That's it for today's video. If you guys want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diverse mentality. For just $3 a month, you can get my videos uncut and raw the way I intended them to be, but couldn't because of YouTube. Plus, you also get access to our Discord community, where we have a great community talking about hip hop and various other things. It's very dope. So only $3 a month. I'd really appreciate the support. Also follow us on social media at QuakeGW and at Diverse Mentality. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.